What up, squad? It's your boy Mike T's back at you again with another crash course in Silhouette Design Studio. And I don't think I told you guys what version this is. This is 4.2. The latest version I believe is 4.3 or 4.4. So if you got that, make sure to download it and get the newest updates. But let's get into why we're here. This one is going to be over copy and trace. As you see, I have 3 images that I've already took via the web, and we're going to see how we can trace these and what type of effects we get. The trace icon is found on the right draw down panel, and it's the 5th icon down, which looks like a little butterfly trapped inside of a box. So we'll hit that and we'll do the first trace of Drake's face. Everybody knows Drake. We'll go ahead and capture that. Make sure you got the whole image. The yellow is actually what's going to be traced and what's going to be outlined. Now you can sit here and mess with the speckle threshold and the regular threshold to get crispier lines, like when you zoom in, because these lines will be jagged. So if you really want to get that straight, it takes a lot of time and actually lowering the threshold, hiring the speckle threshold, sometimes lowering the scale or bringing the scale back up. These main things I'm pointing to is what I'm talking about. But for the sake of this video, we're just doing a straight copy and trace. So we're going to hit trace on Drake's face. Now when you get it, it will be red outlined. So if you were to save this, you would not see this outline at all. And a lot of folks can't decipher where to weave from. So what you need to do is highlight it again. Come to your color palette on the right hand side. 1, 2, 3. Click it. And voila, Drake's face. Now this was drawn by somebody, so this is straight clip art. This is something you could probably use and get away with and not have too many ramifications. However, the next two I should say, are not. You see how this has a whole, move the squad out the way and blow up Jigga's face. But you see this watermark all throughout the image? That means it's copywritten. And usually when you draw something, it's already copywritten once it's been published, and it comes from the original place because it's time-stamped. However, this person went overboard with it because they love Hova that much, or they thought people was just going to be stealing this image left and right. It is still stealable, and I'm going to show you guys how to do this. However, I'm not encouraging you to do this. So once again, you hit the trace panel, the 5th icon down on the right with the little butterfly in it. You select that area that you want to trace. Your arrow becomes a plus sign. Once again, you make that square over it. Make sure you got the whole image. Now, before I said you could use the threshold, the speckle, and the scale over to the right in the trace panel to get the best image. However, you cannot use too much of either, because if you do, you start to get the watermarks. I'll show you an example. So if I hit the threshold up just a little bit, you'll start to see where the watermark will come up through the image. Bad for business, man. Can't use that. So, in that instance, you would like to keep it at the 45 where it starts out at. And you can go down a little bit more because I can still see like little spots in the image that shows the watermark. You can either go down or go up. You just have to mess with it and, you know, really where you're satisfied. Then now you have to hit it with the scale a little bit. And then see right in here where that's a dark spot and then there's a dark spot. You could try to brighten that up to make a crisper line, but when you do, make sure you're looking around the image because the watermark is still trying to appear here, here, and I can see it throughout the eyes and almost into the mouth. But we'll say that that's good for now. We'll hit the trace and move this out the way. Now when you look at it, it looks horrible. To me, it looks like the Bathing 8 symbol. It don't look like your boy Hove, but same rules apply to this as it does with the Drake face. You encapsulate it with the square, go to the color panel, put the colors in there, and there you go. So side by side, one with watermarks, one without watermarks. I mean, the watermark really is to protect the artist and his work, so you really don't want to do this. If you got time, guys, just trace it by hand using the tools on your left hand side, the pencils, the markers, or even try to use a different program and then bring it into Silhouette to finish. Alright, so let's get that out the way. So your boy Hove, look at him. Hove, Hove. And the last type of trace I want to get into, now this is a full color and it has a black background. This is an issue when it comes to tracing. Why? Well, I'll just show you. We'll go over here to the right hand side once again to the trace panel, and we'll hit select trace area. Our plus sign will come up. We'll cover it up, and bam, that's what happens. Now that's letting us know that the threshold's way too high because there's already a black backdrop on there. You want to drop that threshold. You don't want to go too crazy with it. You want to start with the outline of whatever the image is, and you just want to slowly back down off that threshold. Now a lot of times I like to command plus and blow up the screen so I can see it a little bit better. And you can kind of see the jagged lines and stuff, but the actual squad logo is a little rough around the edges, so that it kind of adds to the effect. But if you just want to clean it up a little bit more, you hit that threshold, then you hit that scale up. That scale will start to make the lines more uniform. And then you hit that trace. We'll back out, command minus or control minus for you window users. Move the original squad, and there you have it. And it looks pretty much spot on. I don't know how much time I have left. I know I want to keep these at about 7 or 8 minutes long, but once you've traced an image like this, you can do all sorts of things, and we'll discover that in a couple of courses down the road. You can change the way a person look. You can add more, take away. I mean, it's just really how creative you are. And for the sake, let's see if we can color this one time. For the one time, there we go. So that was a quick crash course on copy and trace. If you have any questions, please leave them in the Facebook group, the squad, or drop a comment on this video. Appreciate you guys. See you on the next one. Squad up.